Husqvarna handhelds, chainsaws, trimmers, leaf blowers, hedge trimmers, and more. Buy it here, get it serviced here. Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue, Chillicothe. On Thursday's edition of Litter Media Live, we had a special guest, my friend, the Reverend Daniel DeGarmo. He's the pastor of the Church of Chillicothe, but he also is an auctioneer, and he has Double D's Auction House on the west side of Chillicothe. He'll be making a trip down to Dallas, Texas to participate in a fundraising event for Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck, of course, the radio host, but he's also involved with Mercury One, which is his humanitarian effort charity group. We caught up with Daniel DeGarmo to talk about how he got involved in this experience.
Sure. So most locally here know that Double D's Auction House is out on Western Avenue, but before it was an auction house, we were a flea market. And the church that I minister with is right behind it, right there at Western Avenue, the 2004 Western Avenue. And the building that used to be North-South Produce was available for sale. I made an offer on it right beside us, purchased it with this vision of having this huge 3 to 4 acre lot of land that would be a flea market. And so we did that for a few years, and we accumulated a lot of stuff in doing that, and to get rid of that stuff fast, we had to bring in an auctioneer and auction it off, and I was watching the auctioneer and thought, I can probably do that myself and not have to pay someone to do it. And I went to auction school in Missouri back in 2018. Went to Ringman School last year also in Missouri, and I'm a full-fledged licensed here in Ohio auctioneer, and we've been running the auctions on Friday nights out there at Double D's, and a lot of folks come out on a Friday night, and we have a blast. It's awesome.
I'm often surprised just due to the fact that I think to myself, nobody does anything but football on Friday nights.
Yeah.
But you've given people a reason to go elsewhere.
Yeah, well, go support your football teams. I mean, I'm not trying to pull anybody away from their support.
That's
their
not what I was
teams.
trying to insinuate.
Exactly. In fact, I've actually had thoughts of pulling it back to a Thursday or moving to a Saturday during football season because we've noticed our numbers at the auction have been a little lower. But nevertheless, we're just going to keep running on Friday nights. I like to tell people that the world's nuts. It's crazy. If you want to escape it for a couple of hours and just enjoy 2 to 3 hours of some great deals, good food, and very bad humor, then come out to Double D's on a Friday night, and I don't think you'll regret it. And so it's not just an auction. We have an auction family, and I think we're up to several hundred registered bidders now. And
wow.
We have different group shows up every Friday. It's just a blast.
And I will tell you, one of the visits we made with you here a while back, because he's also a member of the Adina Worthington's baseball team, and I was dropping off a T-shirt to him.
Yep.
And just looking around, there was stuff that I saw that I hadn't seen since my childhood.
Yeah, so we're decorating the inside of that auction house. I really wanted to bring the history of Chillicothe into one location like that. So I have the original skateaway sign hanging inside the auction house. I have the original bear from the Big Bear on Western Avenue hanging on the wall in there. Lots of local signage from businesses. The old clock face for Carl's Townhouse is hanging in there. So it's just kind of cool. An auction house, in my opinion, the old way that it used to be, anymore people are doing a lot of online stuff, and I'm just not a fan of that. You can bring people in, and you have this feeling of nostalgia and comfort. And if I could provide that for a couple hours on a Friday night, we're doing good. And it gives me a platform.
You preview a lot of the things you're going to sell on Facebook.
I do. If you haven't liked my page, Double D's Auction House on Facebook, I do videos, and I'll probably do one tomorrow. We got a great auction lined up for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday night. So, yep, we got a good auction for tomorrow. Excited about it.
Now, this isn't exclusively the reason we asked him.
I was getting ready to say, I can come do this every week if you want to promote the auction.
Of course, for a little cash. But we have a connection with Glenn Beck. The Glenn Beck radio program, of course, for a long time was part of our programming at WPEX. It still is, but when we were there, it was. And you also were a Glenn Beck fan, but now Glenn Beck's part of the family, so to speak, isn't he?
It's crazy. I mean, I've been listening to Glenn for 20 plus years, and My son went to school here, graduated here, went to college in Florida, and is now employed by Mercury One, which is the large nonprofit organization that Glenn Beck runs down there, where his studio is at in Irving, Texas, right in the Dallas area. And so he lives down there. My son lives down there, works down there, and is a part of the Glenn Beck family down there. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty cool.
And that has created an opportunity for you to become part of their big event next weekend, the Power of One.
Yes, Mercury One has their 10-year celebration, their anniversary of being this great nonprofit that they've been. You've probably heard stories in social media about the Nazarene Fund and the folks that have gone out and rescued so many people from Afghanistan. The Nazarene Fund is a part of Mercury One, just like the American Journey Experience is a part of Mercury One. Mercury One's, and you can go to mercury1.org, is that umbrella of those good humanitarian works that it really cool if you follow that stuff, the things they do, just because kinder is better, and the compassion that they have for humanitarian crises. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
This was something that Glenn Beck's wife started, if I'm not mistaken, and got really pulling at his heartstrings on how can we help people in a humanitarian way. And it is built into this big giant project that is, as you mentioned, is going and rescuing individuals, most recently in Afghanistan, but they've also done what they can to help refugees from other countries and trying to grab Christians and bring them back to safety.
Yeah, it's really, really cool to have, our son Noah to be working there and to kind of talk to him daily about what's all happening. Not that he knows everything, but just the connection is providential. I really believe that. And so the Mercury One, the reason you've probably got me on today is because they have asked me to come and be the auctioneer for their big event next Saturday.
Which will have about 2,500 people attending.
Yes, there are going to be a lot of people there.
Yeah.
So I better do a good job.
Is this the biggest room you've played?
Yeah, as far as auctions go, it's definitely the largest crowd that we have had. And I'm bringing in a 5-time world champion ringman, Dustin Taylor, to help work the crowd. And I'll be working with him in doing whatever we can to maximize the sale of every item that I've been asked to auction off.
Everything's bigger in Texas. That means to me that the pockets are deeper too. So
you got it. There are some very deep pockets in Texas, and there will be some very deep pockets in that room.
Yeah. This is the one fundraiser they do every year.
Yeah, it is.
And it helps fund the many things that Mercury One does.
Yes.
And so it's got to be spine-tingling for you to think that, gosh, I get to be involved with this.
It is. It's overwhelming. I'm very humbled by it. To be on stage with Glenn and to be on stage with some of the other artists that are going to be there, Colton Dixon, Danny Goki. I mean, my wife and I were cheering them on in American Idol whenever years ago they were on American Idol, and now they're, Christian artists that are very successful. So to be on the same stage with them obviously is an honor, and I'm very humbled by that. But I am going to try my best to stay focused on why I'm there, and that's just to entertain the people. That's part of being a charity or benefit auctioneer, is to entertain them and not let them know that you're sucking the money out of their pockets. That's the best I can do is draw every dime I can out of their
All
out of
you
their
need
pockets.
is a magnetic personality.
Yes,
and that'll pull that money right out of them. So now I got to think that if you get 15% or more above what they collected last year, you'll be back.
I hope so. I mean,
if not, you'll be out the door.
I'll be out the door. I realize that. I don't know what their expectation is. That's one of the messages I have into my son right now is, can you give me an idea of what they want out of this stuff? Yeah. Because I have every intention of exceeding those expectations and blowing their minds. Yeah. I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen, so this will be a regular occurrence. Now, I've done charity benefit auctioneering all over the country already in the past few years that I've been an auctioneer. This is by far the biggest and could open the door to so many other opportunities for me in that arena. And I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, with the number of people that'll be there, and the items that you'll have to auction off, from what you understand, listening to Glenn talk about it yesterday on the show, there's going to be a great deal of historic type material.
Awesome.
That will be
Awesome.
given away.
Awesome.
For a price.
And I got something up my sleeve that when I get out there, I have a little, and I kind of don't want to let it go publicly yet. I've talked to my son about it, but I'm going to take a chance and do something that I hope will make them very happy. And off the mic, I can tell you what it is. But
as long as you're fully clothed, everything will be fine.
Trust me, that's.
I mean, you did say entertainment, right?
Yeah. Yes, but I didn't say to scare them to death and frighten them eternally. So. Anyway, but yeah, I got some on my sleeve. I'm going to try when I first get on stage to try to draw some laughter and some excitement, and it's going to be an item that I'm basically going to create on the spot that I'm going to auction off, and obviously all of it goes to to Mercury One.
Very good. Make sure you get into Glenn's pockets too, because I hear they're deep as well.
Quite
so. Daniel DeGarmo, celebrity auctioneer. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me on.